There is a person in your energy right now who wants to love you so completely that every scar you carry stops feeling like damage and starts feeling like proof that you survived long enough to get here, to get to them. They are not interested in your highlight reel. They're not interested in the version of you that has it all together. They want the version that flinches when someone raises their voice. The version that checks twice whether the door is locked. The version that still apologizes for having needs. They want that version specifically because that is the version nobody else stayed for. And they want to be the reason you stop bracing for impact every time someone says, I love you. That's it. That's what they want. That is what is coming through today. Okay, so I literally had to stop what I was doing to record this because the energy on this one is not playing around. I'm Stella Love Tarot with Stella. Subscribe if you're new because we stay busy around here. Real quick, only take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You know how we do. Now, let me get into this because, oh my gosh, I have been waiting to tell somebody this all day. So let me tell you who you are. And I need you to hear this without your guard up for once because I know your guard is always up and I know why it's up and I'm not asking you to take it down permanently. I'm asking you to crack the door for like 3 minutes so this can get through. You are someone who has been loved wrong so many times that you've started to confuse love with labor. You think love means earning, performing, proving. You think it means being useful enough to keep being small enough to not inconvenience, being grateful enough that nobody can accuse you of wanting too much, and none of that is your fault. None of it. You learned that from people who were supposed to teach you the opposite, people who were supposed to show you that love is rest, not work, that love is safety, not surveillance, that being loved means someone sees all of you, the messy and the magnificent, and chooses to stay not because you earned it, but because you exist and that is enough. Nobody taught you that. You had to figure it out alone. And the version you figured out, the version where you keep yourself small and useful and low maintenance so nobody has a reason to leave, that version kept you alive. That version protected you, but it is not the truth. It was a survival strategy and you do not need it anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Because here's who you actually are underneath all that protective armor. You are someone with a heart so big it scares you. You love hard. You love first. You love without keeping score, even when keeping score would protect you. When you're in, you're in. You remember birthdays without being reminded. You notice when someone's having a bad day before they say a word. You show up consistently, reliably, not because you're performing loyalty, but because loyalty is built into your wiring at the factory level. And the tragedy, the absolute tragedy is that the people you've given that loyalty to did not deserve it. Not most of them. They took your consistency and called it convenient. They took your emotional intelligence and used it as a map to your weak spots. They took the fact that you don't leave easily and used it as permission to treat you however they wanted because they knew you'd still be there in the morning. And you were, every time, making excuses for them, translating their cruelty into something palatable so you could justify staying, telling yourself that love is supposed to be hard, that relationships take work, that if you just gave a little more, adjusted a little more, needed a little less, it would get better. It didn't get better. It got quieter, which you mistook for better because at least quiet didn't leave bruises you could see until you weren't. Until one day, something small happened, probably something that would look insignificant to anyone watching from outside. And it was the final thing, not the biggest thing, the final thing. And you left. And the day you finally left, the day you finally chose yourself, they acted shocked, like your departure was the betrayal and not the 100 small cruelties that caused it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm getting heated because I can feel this in your energy and it makes me want to fight someone on your behalf. But here's the thing, and this is the part I need you to really lock in on. That softness you carry, that enormous, terrifying, can't help it softness, it did not make you weak. I know it felt like it did. I know there were nights when you lay in the dark, wishing you could just stop caring, wishing you could be colder, more detached, more like the people who hurt you, wishing you could walk away without looking back the way they seemed to, but you couldn't, because that's not who you are. And the fact that you couldn't become cold, the fact that you went through everything you went through and still came out the other side with a heart that wants to love, that is not weakness. That is the single most powerful thing about you. You were supposed to be destroyed by now. You were supposed to be bitter and closed and sharp edged and mean, and you're not. You're still soft, still open, still hoping even when hope has burned you before. That is superhuman. That is a level of emotional strength that most people cannot even comprehend. And someone has noticed if the initials H, D, or J mean something to you right now, pay attention. Those letters keep pulsing through and they're connected to this person or to someone from a past chapter who taught you the wrong definition of love. If it lands, drop it in the comments. Now, let me tell you about this person because they are coming through so clearly. I can almost see their hands. This is someone who has watched you, not in a creepy surveillance way, in a quiet, paying attention, catching things nobody else catches way. They have seen you be strong for other people and then go home and fall apart where nobody can see it. They might not have witnessed the falling apart directly, but they sensed it. They sensed the weight. They noticed the pause before you answered, I'm fine. They noticed that your smile has two versions, the real one that comes out when you're actually happy and the one you wear like a uniform when you're holding everything together. The one that says, I'm fine in a font that anyone paying real attention would know means I am not fine, but I don't trust this room enough to say so. And they clocked the difference. They clocked it immediately. Not because they're smarter than everyone else, but because they were looking at you with a different kind of attention. Not the kind that wants something from you, the kind that wants something for you. Most people don't. Most people take the uniform smile at face value and move on. This person didn't move on. They stayed. They filed it. And it broke something in them. Not broke as in damaged, but broke as in opened. Something in them said, this person has been carrying too much for too long and nobody is helping and I want to help and I don't know how to say that without scaring them away. Because that's the problem. They know you're scared. Not scared of them. Scared of wanting something again. Scared of trusting again. Scared of letting someone close enough to hurt you, because everyone who's gotten that close before has eventually used the access to cause damage. They know that your walls are not walls of anger. They're walls of grief. You're not keeping people out because you're hard. You're keeping people out because letting people in has historically been the most dangerous thing you do. And this person, this patient watching, aching to reach you person, they understand that. They understand it because they've seen the evidence. They've seen how you test people without realizing you're testing them. The small ways you push to see if someone will leave. The way you downplay your needs to see if someone will notice them anyway. The way you offer an exit to everyone who gets close. Here's the door. I won't be mad. You can go not because you want them to leave, but because you need to know they'll stay by choice, not obligation. I keep getting the number 3 here, divine expression, creativity, the Trinity, and 3 is telling me this connection operates on 3 levels simultaneously. There's a physical level, there's an emotional level, and there's a soul level that neither of you fully understands yet, but both of you can feel. This is not a surface connection. This is not someone who likes the idea of you. This is someone whose spirit recognized yours before their brain caught up. Yeah, that's it. And the jealousy. Oh my gosh, the jealousy. This person watches the way other people treat you and it makes them physically sick, not jealous of competitors, sick at the carelessness. They see someone dismiss you or take you for granted or talk over you or minimize something you said and their whole body tenses. They want to intervene. They want to say something. They want to shake the person treating you that way and say, do you have any idea who you're being casual with right now? Do you understand what you have access to? Do you know how rare this person is? But they don't say it because they're not sure they have the right to defend you yet. They haven't earned that position. And the restraint, the sitting there watching someone be careless with you when they would give anything to be careful with you, that restraint is costing them more than they'll ever let on. And here's what they imagine. This is coming through so specifically, it's almost startling. They don't imagine grand gestures with you. They don't imagine vacations or adventures or the kind of love that makes good social media content. They imagine the small stuff that would mean the most to someone who has never had it. They imagine handing you a cup of tea without being asked and watching your face when you realize someone anticipated a need before you had to voice it, because you always voice your needs last, or never. They imagine you falling asleep on their chest and them staying completely still for 45 minutes because you looked peaceful for once, and they would rather lose circulation in their arm than disturb the first real rest you've had in weeks. They imagine the first time you cry in front of them without apologizing for it, without saying, sorry, I'm being dramatic, without performing recovery 2 minutes later so they don't have to deal with your emotions. They imagine you actually letting yourself be held, and that image you unguarded, being held without flinching, that is the thing that breaks them open every single time they think about it, because they know how much that would cost you. They know that for you, for someone who has been their own safety net their entire life, leaning into another person is not romance. It is a trust, fall off a cliff with no guarantee of a net. And they know you've fallen before and nobody caught you. They know about the splatter. They know about the rebuilding. They know you put yourself back together with duct tape and stubbornness and swore you'd never fall again. And they want to be strong enough to catch it, not because they think they can fix what broke, because they want to prove that falling doesn't always end in damage, that sometimes someone is actually standing there, actually ready, actually built to hold what you carry. For my Pisces, Cancer, Taurus, and Virgo viewers, this is hitting different for you right now. I keep picking up Scorpio or Capricorn energy on this person, someone who is guarded in their own way, someone who expresses devotion through action, not declaration, someone who would rather build you a shelf than write you a poem, and somehow the shelf says more, someone whose love language is not words but evidence, consistent, quiet, undramatic evidence that they were thinking about you when you weren't looking. And that kind of love, the evidence kind, the shelf kind, the I didn't say it, I showed it kind, that's the kind your nervous system actually trusts, because your nervous system stopped trusting words a long time ago. Words lied, actions are harder to fake. I keep getting the number 9 now, cycle completion. Something old is ending. And it's not just ending, it's being completed. The lesson is finishing. The chapter is closing with full punctuation, not a cliffhanger. Every painful relationship you've been through was not random. I know that's hard to hear when you're in the middle of the pain, but from where I'm sitting right now, in this energy, those relationships were not punishments. They were curriculum. They were teaching you what love isn't, so that when the real thing finally showed up, you would recognize it instantly. Not by how it made you feel at the start, because the toxic ones felt good at the start too, but by how it made you feel at 3 months, 6 months, a year in. The real thing doesn't escalate into chaos. It deepens into calm, and calm is the thing your nervous system has been starving for. Not excitement, not intensity, calm. Now drop everything if this is landing in your body right now. If you feel this reading in your actual chest, comment, I deserve calm love below. Like this video, subscribe if you're not already, and tell me who just came to mind, because I read every single comment and I need to know. And I know some of you are listening to this right now and your first instinct is to dismiss it, to say, yeah, right, to protect yourself from hoping, because hope has been weaponized against you before. Someone promised you safety and then became the danger. Someone said, I'll never leave, and then left. Someone said, trust me, and then proved exactly why you shouldn't have. I know every promise sounds like the last lie you believed, but I need you to hear me. This is not that. The reason I know this is not that is because the energy coming through is not asking you to trust. It's not demanding anything from you. It's not saying open up right now or you'll miss it. It's saying I will be here when you're ready, however long that takes. And that patience, that willingness to wait without pressure, that is the thing that separates real love from every performance of love you've survived before. I keep getting the number 11 now, awakening, alignment, twin energy. And 11 is telling me you are waking up, not in a dramatic, spiritual breakthrough way, in a quiet Tuesday afternoon way. You're starting to notice things. You're starting to catch yourself mid pattern and pause. You're starting to say no without explaining why. You're starting to let calls go to voicemail from people who drain you. You're starting to choose yourself in small, almost invisible ways that feel enormous from the inside. And this person can feel that shift. They can feel you becoming less available to the things that diminished you and more available to the things that honor you. And they know that their window is opening, not because you're becoming easier to access, because you're becoming safer to approach. The walls aren't coming down, the right door is opening, and they intend to walk through it. And physically, because this is coming through, and I'm not going to pretend it's not, this person finds you beautiful in a way that has nothing to do with convention and everything to do with you specifically. They notice the things about your body that you're most self conscious about, and those are the exact things that undo them. The features you criticize in the mirror are the features they can't stop looking at. Your hands, the way your body moves when you're not aware of being watched, the specific weight and warmth of you. They have imagined what it would feel like to hold you, not in a sexual way first, in a gravitational way, like what it would feel like to have the full physical reality of you pressed against them and breathing and safe. And they want to know what you weigh, not the number, the feeling, the actual sensation of you leaning into them with your full weight instead of holding yourself up the way you always do, because you always hold yourself up. Even when someone offers to help you carry something, you say, no, I've got it. Even when you're exhausted, you stand straight. Even when you're drowning, you tread water with a smile like you chose to be in the ocean. And they want to be the place where you finally set the weight down. All of it, the performing, the proving, the constant background calculation of how much of yourself is safe to show. They want to be the first surface in your life that you trust enough to actually rest on. And the word rest, I keep getting that word specifically, rest, is what this whole connection is about. Not excitement, not passion first, rest, the kind your body has been begging for. I keep getting the number 7, divine protection. Your spirit team is actively guarding this connection. The timing of this person showing up is not random. You are being delivered to each other, not thrown together, not collided, delivered with care, with intention, with a precision that suggests something much larger than either of you is orchestrating this. Trust the timing, even when it feels slow, especially when it feels slow. The slow approach is the safe approach. And safety is the whole point. And here's what's happening next. This person is going to do something that doesn't look like a grand gesture, but will feel like one to you specifically. They're going to remember something small that you mentioned in passing that you didn't think anyone was listening to, and they're going to act on it, not to impress you, not to prove something, because they were listening. They're always listening when it comes to you. And when that happens, when someone acts on a detail you didn't think anyone cared enough to retain, you are going to feel something you haven't felt in a very long time, maybe ever. You are going to feel known, not loved first, known. Because being known has to come before being loved, or the love doesn't land where it needs to. I keep getting the initials R and E connected to this shift, and the number 22, master builder. Something permanent is being constructed. Not a fling, not a season, a structure, a foundation. The kind of thing that holds weight and weathers storms and is still standing when the initial excitement fades and real life starts. This person is not here for the spark. They're here for the fire that burns after the spark, the sustained heat, the choosing you on a Wednesday love, the nothing special happened today and I still want to be next to you love. That's what they're building toward. And they're building it brick by brick with every small act of attention they think you don't notice. But you do notice. You notice everything That's been your curse, and it's about to become your gift. Because the same hypervigilance that used to scan for danger is now picking up safety signals. And this person is sending them constantly, quietly, consistently, without asking for credit. And here's what I want to leave you with, because this is the part that matters most. You deserve to be loved without having to earn it. I know that sentence is going to hit some of you like a truck because you have never in your entire life experienced love that wasn't conditional, love that didn't come with a performance review, love that didn't require you to shrink or prove or earn or justify your space. But that's what's coming. Not perfect love, not movie love, real love. The kind that stays when you're not performing. The kind that sees the worst version of you and doesn't leave. The kind that makes every painful chapter before it feel like it was just the long, terrible commute to the place you were always supposed to end up. You are not too broken for this. You are not too scarred. You are not too difficult or too guarded or too much work. You are exactly the right amount of everything for the person who was built to love you. And they're not coming to fix you. You were never broken. They're coming to rest beside you because you have been so tired and it is finally safe to stop carrying everything alone. Okay, I need you to go receive this now. Stop bracing. Stop rehearsing your exit. Stop keeping one foot out the door just in case. This is real and it is yours and you deserve it so deeply. It makes me emotional just saying it. If this hit you today, like this video right now, share it with someone who has been loved wrong and deserves to know what right feels like. Subscribe because I am always in here dropping something for you, and comment below because I read every single one and I want to know who this is about. I want to know what chapter is closing. I want to know what door is opening. Okay, go. I love you. Bye.